Hey everyone, welcome to Elingo Podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Dain. Happy to have you with us today.
So, discipline. It's one of those words that everyone talks about, but honestly, how many of us actually feel disciplined?
Right. I think most people hear discipline and immediately think of waking up at 5 a.m. or cold showers.
Exactly. It sounds so intense. But here's the thing. Discipline doesn't have to be this extreme, painful thing. It's really just about doing what you said you'd do, even when you don't feel like it.
That's a good way to put it. And honestly, I think that's why so many people struggle with it. We're constantly battling our feelings, Like, I don't feel like going to the gym today.
Oh, I get that every single morning. Actually, last month I tried this whole wake up at 5 a.m. thing. I quit after 3 days.
3 days? That's impressive. I lasted 1 day.
See? This is what I'm talking about. We set these crazy goals and then beat ourselves up when we can't keep them.
Right. So where do we even start? Like, if someone's listening and thinking, I have zero discipline, what's step one?
Well, I think the biggest mistake people make is trying to change everything at once. January 1st comes around and suddenly they're going to eat healthy, exercise daily, learn a language, and meditate.
And by January 5th, they've given up on all of it.
Exactly. So instead, start ridiculously small, like embarrassingly small.
How small are we talking?
If you want to start exercising, maybe just commit to putting on your workout clothes every morning. You don't even have to work out. Just get dressed for it.
That's interesting. So you're basically lowering the barrier to entry.
Right, because once you're dressed, you're way more likely to actually do something.
I like that. It reminds me of something I read about, what's it called? Habit stacking. You attach a new habit to something you already do automatically.
Oh yeah, like after I brush my teeth, I'll do 5 push-ups.
Exactly. The brushing teeth part is already automatic, so the push-ups just tag along.
That's smart. But what about when motivation just completely disappears? Because let's be real, some days you wake up and you just don't want to do anything.
Yeah, and I think that's where most people misunderstand discipline. They think discipline means you always feel motivated, but it's actually the opposite. Discipline is what you use when motivation's just gone.
So it's like a backup system?
Kind of, yeah. Motivation gets you started, but discipline, that's what keeps you going. There's actually research on this. Scientists call it ego depletion. Basically, willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired throughout the day.
Oh wow, that explains why I can resist donuts at breakfast, but by 9 p.m. I'm raiding the fridge.
Exactly. So the trick is to do your most important tasks early, when your willpower tank is still, full.
That makes so much sense. But what if you mess up? Like you break your streak?
Oh, this is crucial. One mistake doesn't erase all your progress.
But it feels like it does, doesn't it?
Totally. It's called the what the hell effect. You eat one cookie and think, well, I already blew it. Might as well eat the whole box.
Guilty. So how do you avoid that spiral?
You need to treat it like missing a bus. If you miss one, you don't give up on buses forever, right? You just catch the next one.
I love that analogy. Miss one workout, just don't miss two.
Exactly. The goal isn't perfection. It's getting back on track quickly. I had this happen 2 weeks ago, actually. I was doing really well with my morning routine. Then I had a terrible night's sleep, overslept, and just skipped everything.
What did you do?
I was about to just say forget it for the rest of the week, but then I remembered just get back tomorrow. And I did. And honestly, that felt like a bigger win than the streak itself.
That's huge, because it's that bounce back that really builds discipline, not the perfect streak.
Right. It's learning to recover, not learning to be perfect.
What about accountability? Do you think that helps?
Oh, for sure. Having someone else involved makes a huge difference. There's something about not wanting to let someone down that pushes us more than personal goals sometimes.
True. I told my friend I'd meet her at the gym, and even on days I don't want to go, I show up. Because I know she's counting on me.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a person even. Some people post their progress online.
Yeah, that social pressure can be really powerful, in a good way.
Another thing that helps is environment design.
What do you mean?
Well, like if you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in your house. You're basically making the right choice, the easy choice.
Oh, that's smart. So instead of relying on willpower, you're setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. He says you should make good habits obvious and easy, and bad habits invisible and hard.
I need to apply that more. Like, I keep my phone next to my bed and wonder why I scroll for an hour before sleep.
Yeah, maybe try charging it in another room?
Simple, but effective. I should do that tonight, actually.
You know what else I think matters? Understanding your why.
Your reason for wanting to be disciplined.
Yeah, because if you're just doing something because you think you should, you'll quit the moment it gets hard. But if you have a deep, personal reason, that carries you through.
Like, I want to exercise versus I want to be healthy so I can play with my kids without getting tired.
Exactly. The second one has emotional weight. It matters.
That's a really good point. So discipline isn't just about forcing yourself. It's about connecting to something meaningful.
Right. And honestly, I think self-compassion plays a role too.
How so?
Well, a lot of people are incredibly harsh on themselves when they slip up. They call themselves lazy or failures, and that just makes them feel worse.
Which makes it harder to get back on track.
Exactly. So instead, try talking to yourself like you'd talk to a friend. Hey, you had a rough day. That's okay. Tomorrow's a new start.
That's actually really helpful. I'm definitely guilty of the negative self-talk. Like last week, I forgot to meal prep on Sunday, and I was just so mad at myself. Kept thinking, why can't you just get it together for like 3 days?
And did beating yourself up help you meal prep the next week?
Not at all. I was just stressed and kind of gave up on it entirely.
Right. But research shows that self-compassion actually improves performance. When you're kind to yourself, you're more likely to try again after failure.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening right now and wants to build discipline. Where should they start? Today.
Pick one tiny habit, something so small you can't say no.
Like what?
Maybe drinking a glass of water every morning, or making your bed, something that takes less than 2 minutes. Do it every single day for a week. Just 1 week.
And once that becomes automatic,
Add something else. Build slowly. Stack those habits.
I love that. It feels so much more doable than trying to overhaul your entire life.
And that's the key, right? Discipline isn't built in a day. It's built in tiny, consistent actions over time.
So to wrap this up, what are the main takeaways for our listeners?
Start small, like really small. Focus on consistency, not intensity. Don't rely on motivation alone. Build systems that make the right choices easier.
And when you mess up, get back on track immediately. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week.
Be kind to yourself in the process. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about building a life that reflects your values and goals.
And connect to your why. Know the deeper reason you're doing this.
Exactly. With that foundation, discipline becomes something you want to do, not something you have to force.
I love that. Well, I think that's a great place to leave it. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to Elingo Podcast.
And share it with someone who might need a little motivation to build better habits.
We'll catch you next time.
Take care, and remember, small steps lead to big changes.
Bye, everyone.